Hi everyone, thank you guys for joining me. Today we're looking at a fantastically well-preserved bird totem. You can see how the beak and the eye and the crest is coming up, pointing to the left-hand side. And you can see how the rest of this is the body of it, the tail represented. And really as we tilt it at an angle, we'll be able to see that bird. You might notice other characters, perhaps with big mouths. And what I think is really fascinating about this is there are mammoths on these. You can see how the eye and the tuft of the mammoth with the extremely long trunk coming all the way down. You might notice the ridges and ripples there. There are going to be a few mammoth trunks on this. You'll notice here, again, on this section of the wood portrayed. There's birds and mammoths done. It's fascinating. Let's take a look at a few more of these birds here. We can see different ones portrayed. You can see what might look like a feather right here coming up. Might be the beak of another bird, but you'll see, I guess there's just birds everywhere. So we'll just start off on the top here. We have the recessed beak and the eye of the bird with the ruffled crest there. And then as we tilt it, that bird head comes out. You can see the neck, and then not only the neck, but actually the whole body of the bird as well is portrayed there. So you can see how the tail comes down to the bottom here. And you can hold these in different ways and spin them around. But believe it or not, in this section here is a bird beak. So it's kind of like a parrot, I guess it would be, with the body of it. It's kind of a twisted body there. And we may also see a mammoth. Let's keep an eye out for the mammoths. Of course, that same bird head pointing to the right, we can see the way the body works for the right-hand side bird as well. This almost looks like a toucan. There's birds of all types. Now, let's go ahead and flip it over to this side. Where we started, we can see. It's good to kind of keep a track of what we're doing with these. They can get really complicated and you can get lost in them pretty quick. But in order to learn them, you kind of want to keep track of them. You can see how we have this long bird here. So let's see if we can get him in different dimensions and different ways. There he is. So we can see how just the little beak is portrayed, how the eye and the head. It really looks like the bird's almost pointing the opposite direction. And then you can see how the tail is done here. This is a fantastic piece of art. It's very fragile, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to document it so quickly. And we'll go ahead and take a look at one more here that I have prepared. And here we can see our bird effigy. We're going to try to get him in the right orientation. It looks like he might have a little human silhouette in here too. But as we tilt this guy, there he is. You can see how the little beak is portrayed, then the white spot for the eye, and then the little lines for the crest. And looking further down it, you can see how the wing is done, how the tail. And as we turn it and twist it, we'll be able to see more and more. But you guys are going to see pretty quickly why I am seeing the mammoths. If you guys look closely on this wood, you'll notice this entire piece of wood is actually carved. It's not just a regular piece of wood. It's very heavy. It's a very solid piece. And if you look at the lines on it and the carvings on it, you can see how there's an eye here. And there's a trunk of a mammoth, it looks like perhaps, or just a long bird. But we can see the bird pointing to the left here as well. And if you look at the lines on the wood, you can see how that might represent the wings. And then as we twist this around here, you can see how we have a mammoth perhaps with its eye, with its trunk there. We can move this one around so I can show you perhaps the different mammoths that come out. And this one could use just a little bit more cleaning. But I wanted to document it before. Yeah, there's definitely a little human silhouette in here. So as we turn it like this, it doesn't look like a human silhouette because it's got like a row of mouths. I don't know what's going on there. It's really odd. see what this eye is for. Perhaps just another bird. But we can get really in deep with this stuff, just like we do with the stone art. And for that, I think it's really fascinating. It's a really beautiful piece. And staying on this same one, let's just flip it over here and take a peek at it as well. We do have a pretty cool left side silhouette. I believe we can make poke out. Awesome. Thanks, guys. And here we have a really great duck head. You can see how it's split in the middle there. It may represent double duck, but this one is actually a really pretty statue as well. When we point it like this, I believe it is, we have just a full bird pointing in one direction or the other. Let's have a few little birds on it. You can see how you put it in all different ways and it'll have little birds. So this one right here has the beak and the eye right in the corner and then the flat crest. And it's the bird looking behind it with the rest of its body here. I'm very curious to see the mammoths. I think that we might have a representation here of mammoths as well. And we can see the little human silhouette coming out here with its eye, of course, the carving in the wood. The wood is much easier to see, and if you look closely at it, there are little paintings of humans. You can see the two eyes, the nose, and he's got a little headdress on there. Very pretty. And that looks like our mammoth there with the tuft. It's usually a pair. Very pretty piece though. And the next one, the next big one here for the video is this giant one, but you know, you could ask how do you know it's an artifact? And it's very easy to see how they cut and chiseled this wood if you look closely at the ends of it. It wasn't cut with a saw, it was cut with some type of stone tool, some type of serrated tool, and also kind of want to show you the way they combed everything. There's a lot of evidence to show that it's worked, but we've gone over that already. You know, not just the fact that it's charred, but several other aspects of it. You'll be able to see the hole in here for the character, and inside of this I suspect that there is going to be a human silhouette as well, but we'll be able to notice just looking at it here at the house a lot more than we were able to in the field there. So the first bird that you can perhaps see, you're looking at the body of a bird, looking at the tail of it there, you can see how the neck is done. So if you start to look at where the face would be and how the rest of that is the crest coming up. The crest could be moved around a little bit, but I doubt it. It's very well preserved, and these were very solid when they first came out of the ground. This one still is very solid, but he actually pretty much stands up on his own. And I'm gonna go ahead and just try to let him sit if I can. I might have to move him just a little bit because we're on a hill. There he goes. So I'll do a little brushing off with him, but the main bird head that I see is pointing to the left. That's how I know they opened up these and made this, because I can see the face painted in there for the bird. But there's also one pointing to the left. So we'll get some of this stuff off of here, and we'll detail it in the next video after I get it a little bit cleaned. I might just, it's possible if it's warm enough tomorrow that I will be able to simply rinse it off. But from far away, I mean, we can see what we're gonna have here is like a headdress. Noticing the way they combed everything around. It's super cool. Wonder what else it could be. Wonder if we'll be able to interpret it. Is that a bird head right here? I don't know. It's a wild one. But we'll get her cleaned off and take a peek at it. We're sitting on a duck head of it actually. Right here. Really easy to see one actually. So you can see the way they folded the beak there. And let's go ahead and I'll show you how they put rocks into the duck's eye, and you'll notice how it's all burnt. And there are little, see, I gotta be careful because it's packed in a clay and seeds. Take a look here as I clean this duck head off. So you can see the way that it's all charred and black and polished. It's fully carved. It's not even a piece of the wood at all. It's fully just dug out and carved. Show you some of the char, the black. Now, something's gonna burn in nature. It's gonna burn all the way. It's gonna have some portions of it burnt all the way. Inside of this clay pack are more, you can see how some of this is green. Probably some stones in there. But inside this clay pack are more, oh, I see what it is. It's the back of a feather, a back of a bird. That's coming out right here. Let's just, if you guys want to, I'll show you guys. The best way to really get familiar with these is to just do it, like to clean it, to work with them. You guys can see what we're dealing with here. And if you look at the top, the way they made the top, they put this clay section in here. I just took off the beak of the bird head. And in this section here, there'll be more little figures and faces. You guys will be able to see here the colored eyes. I'm looking at the right side profile, but you'll see how this comes to life here. I'll show you. So all these, even these pulled up sections here, especially those pulled up sections there. Now for some of this stuff, I'm going to want to flip it upside down. But I hope I showed you this duck head enough. Let's really get into its eye and see if I can really get it cleaned out without breaking it. All right, there's our stone eye, it looks like. You guys can see. It might just be a mammoth head. Who's to say? But they did stuff it with seeds and everything's sprouting now, of course. There's something about it that they wanted it to be preserved, but as soon as it came out of the ground, they wanted it to be destroyed. This is all of the original clay pack, and this original clay pack is actually made into the style of effigies. So these, what we're looking at right here are human silhouettes inside of this. And it's all packed with organic materials and more little wooden bird effigies. All these little chunks of wood that are going to be loose inside of here are going to be their own effigies. Look at this white stuff. This white stuff is like its own putty. Oh, I gotta be careful with it. It's thick. What is it? It has a minty smell. It smells like mint. Whatever it is, it's coating this. What is that? Curious, eh? Let's see what we got here, guys. These are gonna be as hard as it is to believe, but these are little figurines in here. They're really soft. If we fired them, there's a chance we could save them. But when they get dried off in nature, see, we're pulling off clay pack, and then underneath it, it's burnt. It looks like we got some termites. Sorry. I'm going to show you the carved wood under here. And underneath this stuff is just going to be all carved, beautiful stuff. It's going to be birds. As we saw, mammoths. I'm going to save some of that white stuff and put it in a bag. It's very curious. It's like a Play-Doh consistency. All this stuff really always smells good, but so that you guys can see the way they're all separated here. Every little piece was done by hand. And put into its position. Let me zoom out just a little bit so you guys can see more. So what I'm doing with the brush is I'm pushing down a little bit to try to knock some of it loose, and then I'm brushing, so I'm like impacting it a little bit, but I got to be careful how much I impact it, as you can see. And I will end up, you know, losing stuff out of this, but I'm curious if there's more effigies inside of this. I wonder. This stuff. It's black over here. I might wash that off, like wash it a little bit and see what it comes out, because the picture might make itself clear after we do that. Or I'll just let it dry. So even on the ends here, you can see how these little skulls are coming out, these little figures. They adorn the whole thing like this. And inside of there's even a different type of cement where it's even more, there's even a harder type of clay cement inside of there. They stuffed them, as you guys can see. So right here we have a beautiful bird pointing to the upward, so you can see the beak of it and the crest right here, and the rest of the bird, the tail of it, just positioned right there. I'll give you a look at the face so you guys can see. Isn't that neat? So every which way in every direction we see here, facing to the left, this will be a beak. So anything sticking out, just look at it as a beak, of course. Wow, I can't wait to see what's under here. I'm gonna have to wash this off, I think. It's just too dense and it's soft. It's like a Play-Doh. But yeah, again, you know, as you guys can see the way that this thing is cut. Those are your tool marks right there, folks. All right. Hope you guys had a good time doing this with me. And let me know if you want me to clean this off with you. I mean, I could do it either way, but let me know in the comments below. All right, everyone. Hope you have a wonderful one, and speak with you again soon. Bye-bye.